Hello, we are Good4, and in this presentation, we are going to talk about the impact of part-time job hours on college students' academic performance. We wanted to explore this topic because working part-time is a very common phenomenon among college students. Some students take part-time jobs to earn money, cover living expenses, or simply to make use of their free time. However, some negative reports and articles suggest that working part-time may harm students' academic performance, even leading to a failing grades. As a result, many students hesitate when deciding whether or not to work during the semester. That's why we want to find out the impact of part-time job hours on college students' academic performance. We aim to help students make better decisions about whether to work part-time.
We collect data using a survey from distributed to college students. The surveys gather information on their weekly part-time job hours and their corresponding GPA. From the response, we analyze the relationship between the number of hours worked and academic performance. Our data show a general trend. Students who work fewer hours tend to have higher GPAs. For example, students who work 0 to 5 hours per week had an average GPA around 3.3 to 3.7. In contrast, students working over 30 hours per week had significantly lower GPAs, average around 2.3. This negative correlation suggests that an increase in part-time work hours may adversely affect academic outcomes. While part-time jobs can provide financial support and work experience, excessively hours seem to reduce the time and energy students can devote to their studies.
From the data, we can see it contains of 30 random sample of college students for their working hours and their GPA. From the data, we can make the first step. The first is state. We define beta null as the expected GPA when working hours are 0, and beta 1 as the population slope. It tells us how much GPA change for every additional hour of part-time job. So our hypotheses are hypothesis null, beta 1 equals 0. This means that part-time hours have no effect on GPA. Hypothesis alternative, b1 not equal 0, means that part-time hours do affect GPA. So we use significance level 5%. We use simple linear regression with a sample of 30 students. The regression equation is y or GPA equals minus 0.047x plus 3.62. And this means for every extra hour of part-time job, GPA is predicted to decrease by 0.047. R-square is 0.421, which means 42.1% of GPA variation can be explained by working hours. To make sure our regression model is valid, we check 5 key assumptions. The first is linearity. The regression slope is beta 1 minus 0.047. It is negative, and the scatter plot graph shows a roughly linear downward trend between hours worked and GPA, means that the more hours worked, the GPA tends to decrease. The second, independence. We assume that the observations are independent, as the random sample of 30 college students less than 10% of the entire population of college students. The third is normality. Random sample was used, and the residuals are fairly symmetrically distributed with no outliers and strong skew. This supports that the normality assumption. Fourth is equal standard deviation or variance. The residuals are spread randomly around 0 with no clear final shape or pattern. The vertical spread of the residuals should be roughly the same from the smallest to the largest x value. There is no fan shape, and this indicates that the variance is constant. The fifth is random sampling. The data was randomly collected from the college students, ensuring the results can be generalized to the population. So the regression model meets all 5 assumptions. Our analysis shows that as part-time work hours increases, GPA tends to decrease. We found a slight negative relationship between working hours and GPA, though the effect size is relatively small.
Using the calculator, we can find that B is 0.047 and A is 3.6192. So the resulting least squares regression equation is approximately GPA equal 3.6192 minus 0.047 times working hours. It means the estimated GPA decreased by about 0.047 for each additional hour of working. Next, we calculate the standard error of the slope, which measures the variability in the slope estimate. It's approximately 0.0137. Lab, we compute the t-statistic to test the significance of the slope, and it's approximately 3.4307. We then use the degrees of freedom, which is 28, to find the p-value associated with this t-statistic. The p-value is approximately 0.0019. Since this p-value is less than the significance level, alpha equal 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis. There is convincing evidence supporting null hypothesis that there is linear relationship between working hour and GPA.
Let's find a significant negative relationship between working hours and GPA. Our model shows like GPA decreases by about 0.049 for every additional hour of part-time work per year or per week. Sorry, the p-value is 0.0019, which is much smaller than 0.05. So we can confidently reject the null hypothesis and say that our working hours do have a statistically significant effect on academic performances. However, our study also has some limitations, like we only use 30 samples, and the data may not include other important factors such as students' courses, their difficulty, time management skills, or sleeping quality. And our future research could be include more variables or a larger sample size for more complete analysis. And last, we hoped our findings could help the students lab make their more informed decisions about how much time they spend on part-time jobs during the school semesters and have much better time allocations on their works. And here's my conclusion. Thank you for your listening.